Have you ever felt like the podcasting world is just way too crowded? Like you're just shouting into the void? Well, what if I told you the secret to huge growth wasn't about going bigger, but actually going smaller, like way, way smaller? Today, we're going to break down exactly how this hyper niche strategy works and why it's totally changing the game.
And get this isn't just some theory. The data is crystal clear. Niche podcasters are seeing 4 times the engagement of their mainstream competition. That is a massive advantage in a world where attention is everything. They're building these incredibly loyal audiences and pulling in premium sponsorships, all while the big shows are still just scrambling for clicks.
So how are they doing it, right? What's the secret sauce here? What's this hidden playbook that turns being specific into a huge success? Well, that's exactly what we are about to dive into.
Okay, first things first, we have to understand the core problem. The mainstream podcasting space is an absolute battlefield. You've got thousands of shows all fighting for the same general audience, covering the same broad topics. It's just a race to the bottom for attention. This comparison really gets to the heart of it. Mainstream shows are trying to cater to these huge, but kind of passive listener bases. Niche shows, though, they serve specific, often totally ignored communities, and they build up listeners who are super active and engaged. It's a total shift from a game of quantity to a game of quality. Which brings us right to the solution, the incredible power of the niche. This is where we see how you can find amazing strength by being incredibly specific. It's a strategy that's all about serving a dedicated few instead of trying to please absolutely everyone. Let's go back to that number for a second, because it's kind of mind-blowing. 4 times higher listener engagement? Why? Well, it all comes down to one word: relevance. When you create content that speaks directly to someone's specific passion, or their job, or a problem they have, it doesn't just feel like entertainment, it feels essential. And the demand for this stuff is already huge. Acast 2024 Podcast Pulse report found that a massive 80% of listeners, that's 4 out of every 5 people, are out there actively looking for niche shows. They want the exact kind of specialized content we're talking about. The audience is literally just waiting. So what exactly is a specialized podcast? To put it simply, it's a show that just zeroes in on a topic or a community that the big media players completely overlook. The whole goal is to create something so relevant to that specific group that it becomes a must-listen part of their week. Okay, so you're on board. But how do you actually do it? This is your growth playbook. We're going to focus on 3 main pillars for building that niche audience: strategic collaboration, deep community building, and really smart SEO. Pillar number 1 is strategic guest collaboration, and this is your most powerful engine for growth. First, you got to find podcasts with overlapping audiences. Think of it like a Venn diagram. You want to find shows that are right there in that shared interest zone. Second, get creative with the format. Don't just do boring interviews. Try a show takeover or a co-hosted series. And finally, use guest spots to build your own authority by inviting top-tier experts onto your show. This brings us to our second pillar, community. And this idea right here really captures the mindset you need. A devoted listener base of 500 members proves more valuable than 5,000 casual listeners. It is time to stop chasing those big, empty download numbers. So where do you build this community? Well, it really depends on your audience. If they're more professional, maybe over 35, Facebook groups are a really solid bet. For younger, more tech-savvy crowds, Discord's real-time chat is perfect. And please don't sleep on Reddit. It's amazing for tapping into huge, already existing communities. The key is to just go where your people already are. Our third and final pillar is search engine optimization, or SEO. This is how your ideal listeners actually find you. While everyone else is fighting over these broad search terms, you can use SEO to become a really big fish in a small, super targeted pond. And the secret to doing this is understanding something called long-tail keywords. These aren't those short, generic phrases. They're longer, very specific search terms that show a user knows exactly what they're looking for. Honestly, these are your golden ticket to attracting a pre-qualified audience. Here is a perfect example. Don't even try to rank for business podcast. You'll just get buried. Instead, you target something incredibly specific, like sustainable restaurant management podcast. Anyone searching for that phrase is not a casual browser. They are your perfect listener, and you've just made it super easy for them to find you. So where do you put all these magic keywords? Pretty much everywhere. Your show and episode titles are prime real estate. Weave them naturally into your descriptions. But here's the secret weapon: your show notes. Treat them like detailed blog posts, just packed with useful info. And if you can, include a full transcript. Remember, Google can't listen to your audio, but it can read every single word you write. Now let's talk about the part everyone loves: the money. This is where the whole niche strategy really pays off. This is where we see how a smaller, super engaged audience can be way more profitable than a massive, disconnected one. Which brings us back to this really important question. I mean, it seems impossible, right? How can a show with 500 downloads make more money than one with 5,000? Well, the answer is all about the quality of that audience. Here's how it breaks down. First, ad response rates are through the roof because niche listeners deeply trust the host's recommendations. Second, your audience is the exact demographic a specific brand wants to reach. There's zero waste for them. That perfect alignment means they are willing to pay a premium. And finally, that deep connection you've built just means your influence is incredibly powerful. So as we start to wrap this up, let's look at how all of these pieces really come together to create your path to sustainable success. You know, it's not about being the biggest, it's about being the most essential. Ultimately, the niche advantage comes down to this: you get incredibly high listener engagement and huge monetization potential, all while facing way lower competition. I mean, that's a trifecta for success. So let's just put it all together. Your core strategy is a simple 4-part loop. First, get laser-focused on your specific audience. Second, build real, authentic community connections. Third, use smart SEO so they can actually find you. And fourth, use collaboration to grow. That's it. That's the blueprint for building your niche empire. And that leaves us with one last really important question. The data shows that audiences are actively out there searching for this specialized content. The opportunities are everywhere. So what passion, what profession, what underserved community are you ready to serve? The riches and the relationships are truly in the niches.